So, guys, we are back, and it's a sad day in Eurovision land because it's official. There's been rumours about it. We heard about the changes with ADAL, that it wouldn't be used to select the Hungarian entry for Eurovision in Rotterdam. And now it's been confirmed that Hungary is withdrawing from Eurovision 2020. We're not going to see the Hungarian flag on that scoreboard. I'm so sad, guys. But let's talk about it. Personally, I love Hungary in the Eurovision. I've been waiting for a Hungarian win for years. And this news really worries me. Clara, I know that you've been a fan of Hungary
Yes.
over the past few years, especially. So how do you feel about this?
I feel really sad because Hungary has always brought this edgy sound. It doesn't have to be, I'm referring to AWS, for example, when I mean like edgy, but also there's another kind of edge when they bring their very folkloric sounds, just like in 2005, Vodovjila, or Joci Popoi this past year and 2 years ago. So I think it's always really nice to see when a country goes for something different. And I think Hungary was always bringing these different elements.
I agree with you 100%. I think that Adele, the kind of music that you saw there was quite the antithesis to some of the other national final selections that we see in other countries. And the winner, the entrant that went to represent Hungary at Eurovision was always something that was compelling, that stood out. Clara mentioned AWS and Papoyotsi. Also Freddie from 2016, really powerful song, something that stands out from the rest, and really kind of breaks the formula of Eurovision songs of the recent years. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I'd be really sad not to see them come back.
So they might not have won, and we've been waiting a long time for a Hungarian win, but they have got a good history in Eurovision. I mean, they came in 1994, I think was the first year they entered, fourth position. That's fourth position. With I can't. Hungarian is one of the hardest languages to speak. Kinek Mondjame Vedkeimet by Friderica Bayer. They had a few years after where kind of some not good results. I remember a Hungarian boy band in 90s. I don't know if you know this one, Clara, VIP. I think they kind of came 11th or 12th. And then they disappeared for a while. Actually until 2005 when they came back with Nox, and Team Eurovoxx are huge fans of Forag. I can't say it.
Vodovjila. Or something like that.
It always gets us up dancing. We're trying to do the clapping and love that song. And I think that did well for them. Came 12th and then they disappeared again for another year, and then finally came back to the top 10 with Magdi Ruta and Unsubstantial Blues. You remember that? Yeah. That kind of sultry blues song with the bus stop, and loved that song. And then since then we've seen some great entries. I mean, 2011, guys, Katy Wolf was really one of the fan favourites to win the whole show with What About My Dream?
Yeah, like I can understand that. It's like the typical Eurovision formula that gets everyone together, and I think it was very effective because I think the station was really simple, but the song was powerful enough to catch everyone.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it didn't do as well as everyone was expecting, Stuart. It came 22nd, and probably one of the biggest disappointments for Hungary in the contest, I think.
Perhaps, but I mean, that's the nature of it. And I was actually writing you guys the other day where I noticed that throughout the years, one of my favorites usually ends up in that spot, the like 21st, 20th, 22nd spot. So yeah, I mean, of course, when it comes to performance, it's a competition at the end of the day and everybody wants to do well. But I think the thing that a lot of people have come away with that everyone can appreciate is good quality music that we remember.
Well, let's go back to 2013 because that's when they got a really good result with Bialix and Kedveshem, and for me that song came out of nowhere. I don't think people were even rating it really before the contest, Clara.
Yeah, absolutely. Nobody expected it to perform so as good as it did, because it was like a quiet, mellow song, almost whispered, and we were not used to this kind of music in Eurovision.
But also, it was so cool as well.
Yeah,
Like, it was
yeah.
such a non-Eurovision song. It was cool. It was. Do we even use the word hip these days? It was cool. It was hip.
It was super hipster. That's true.
It was, and even the beautiful the kind of graphics. Do you remember the cartoon
Yes.
graphics? And they were beautiful, and they really brought the song. They really brought the song to life. The following year we had Andras Calais Saunders as well with Running, probably one of my favourite Hungarian entries. Also, the message of the song as well, kind of, it was about domestic violence and really, really strong message. And I think that ended up being their second best result ever at Eurovision. And he tried again a few years later at Adal. I think he's tried twice. Since going to Eurovision. Would love to see him back representing Hungary. We had Boggy, and then Freddie came back with Pioneer, another kind of powerful pop song. I remember did we have a bit of clapping? Or no, it's hand pumping.
And the wheel.
There's a huh at one point too.
Yeah. And then we have to talk about the man, Papalyotsi. You guys know what I think about him and what his voice and his music and his story does to me. Kiev 2017, I remember being there. I remember being so taken over by this song and this story. Even when I got to meet him, his just something magical about him as a person, as a performer. He's so modest, so humble, and so shy in some ways as well. But what a stunning performance, Stuart, of Origo.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs of all time from Eurovision, I think. And I had the pleasure of playing it for my family accidentally a few days ago. And they were also, it was funny because we were all eating breakfast at my parents' cottage. And firstly, they knew right away, as soon as they heard Hungarian lyrics, that it was probably my phone plugged into the sound system. But everybody was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. It's very minimalist. But it's got a dance beat. It's the way that he sings is really compelling. It draws you in. Such quality that comes from Hungary.
Yeah, and the staging itself was minimalistic, and it was so reflective. It was so elegant.
And again, something so different. What a great fusion of music as well. And I'm so glad that we got to see him back at Eurovision again this year. Unfortunately, not in the finals. I'm still a bit butthurt about that. And then obviously, Clara, come on, you have to talk about
my boys.
Your boys.
My boys. They were so much fun to interview. So much fun. Really bad behaved, but so much fun. Like they brought something new, something electric, and fire to the stage. I saw a video of the making of Eurovision when they are rehearsing this jump when the guitarist is Daniel is crowd surfing, and how like he had to try and jump, and then they push him back, and then he jumps again till they make the shot right. So that was so much fun to watch and learn how they did it. And the guys are super fun. They're super natural. I would love to hang out with them again. Like everyone would love to hang out with them again. So yay!
Totally.
And they're actually doing quite great, as I can see on their social media and YouTube. They're releasing new music, always on the same style. So that's cool.
I always remember when we saw the first rehearsal of AWS, and you just saw him like running around the front of the stage, and you thought, "Yes, that's exactly what we want from you boys." And then the man back again this year in Tel Aviv with, for me, another beautiful song, Azen Apam. I can't say that right, but that really, really should have qualified. And the staging of the song they did, I thought, was beautiful with the gold and just how Papalyotsi conveys a song on stage. He goes into himself, and it's like there's no one else. It's like there's no one else there. For me, again, it was magical. It should have qualified. One of the crimes from Eurovision this year, I think. Stuart, you were a fan of that song as well.
I was a big fan of that song, and I guess it's just that was a really tough semifinal because we lost other favorites in that one. There was Portugal and Poland that you know, a lot of people really wanted to see in the final. But certainly Papoyotsi and Dazinabam, beautiful song, beautiful staging, really heartfelt message. And also, as I understand, the photos that were behind him, he had people from the public submit photos of their own fathers to incorporate into the staging, which is not something that a lot of other countries have done, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we had I think with Michael Schulte in I was going to say Japan, from Germany. Michael Schulte.
Where have I been? Japan's in Eurovision.
You can tell I've not been well. But yeah, no, it was all just beautiful. Should have qualified. But you know, it just shows what a great, very diverse history Hungary has had in Eurovision, and that's why I love them. So, guys, very, very sad news that Hungary is withdrawing from Eurovision. I'm going to take a long time to get over this. Guys, what are your final thoughts on the sad news that we've had?
You first, Clara.
I'm very sad because Hungary always brought this quality music, this different aspect of their culture. It was very present. The language was usually Hungarian. In the past 3 years has been Hungarian, and it was really nice to hear this being sang to us and not English. So they always brought this different language, different staging, different way of doing things to the Eurovision Song Contest, which is what we appreciate.
Totally, and just the quality that they brought every year is certainly going to be missed. Again, nothing's forever, so maybe we'll see them come back. It's happened in the past where they've stepped out for a little while, so let's hope for a future with Hungary back in the contest.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. And we also have to shout out to the poor Hungarian fans as well, who aren't going to be able to see their flag raised in Rotterdam. We've connected with quite a lot of Hungarian fans over the few years that we've been doing this. So much love to you guys. Really sad that you haven't got a home country to support, or your own country to support in Rotterdam. But we're praying for a return in 2021, maybe with Papoyotsi, with another with another beautiful magical song. I can only hope. But guys, do let us know in the comments what you think about the sad news that Hungary won't be taking part in Eurovision in Rotterdam next year. What's your favourite Hungarian song of the past? Do let us know. We'd love to find out from you guys. And will they be back in 2021? Maybe some of you Hungarians can let us know what the likelihood is of that. But otherwise, don't forget to subscribe to the Eurovoxx channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see when we're doing a live video or when we have published a new video. Also follow us on our socials, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. And otherwise, guys, until next time, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.